give us correction, but also answer questions, provided that there's time. So I beg you to attend to him, and we'll hand it over to you, Bishop.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, there's nothing happening. Actually, an eventful year for the Reformed Episcopal Church this year. This year's General Council. First of all, good to see everyone. Good to be with you. As always, had a nice meeting this morning, and always a delight to be at Church of Our Savior in Leesburg. Thank you to Steve and Diana for hosting us. We stayed at their home for a couple nights. It was great. But this year, regarding the Reformed Episcopal Church, we have our General Council in June. General Councils are every 3 years. Synods are every year. General Council, we do the business of the bigger church. Importantly for us, our diocese is hosting the General Council this year in Richmond. St. Jude's Parish is in Richmond. They're helping with a lot of the arrangements. But it's the first time we've hosted a synod. So that'll be a good experience and an opportunity for us to once again underscore that we're here and a part of the Reformed Episcopal Church. The diocese, I think, is doing well. And I think people are happy and proud of what's gone on since we started in 2008, I think, right? I guess I should know that, but I can't. Something right around there. 2006? Yeah. So that's, okay. Well, anyway, I think the thing about the Reformed Episcopal Church, I think we're well positioned to continue to extend the kingdom of God and preach the gospel. We're traditional prayer book Anglicans. We have a wide range of expressions within our church, high church, low church, and everything in between. And it is a challenge to keep it all together, but I think that's an important challenge. I'll mention in my sermon the whole idea of the one and the many. There's one body, but many different expressions within that body. And I think one of the bishop's chores is to keep it all moving in the same direction. The bishops are kind of the common denominator that everyone can look to and make us feel, yeah, we're all on this, walking and working together. So we the bishops are very sensitive and aware of that. The good thing about the bishops is that we all get along, which is a big deal in any kind of church circles. We like each other, like to be with each other, and I'm not fooling you about that. That's true. We trust each other, we interact and communicate and strategize and all of that. Also, I think regarding the REC, we had talked about this, I think it was I went to the vestry meeting, and this whole idea of certainty and uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty out there, I think more than ever. We live in a culture that's very uncertain. Nobody has any, where's the ground that we're going to stand? You go here and it collapses, here it collapses. Where's the certainty? And I think the church is the certainty. The church is the unchanging. To me, that's always one of the beautiful things about the liturgical life, the calendar. Sometimes people say, well, you read those same scriptures every year. Well, you know what? They don't change, but guess what? You do. You're different in 2026 than you are in 2025. Just think of your lives. Some good, some bad, all kind of things have happened. And the beauty of liturgy and our Anglican expression is we're always calling you back to the certainty, to those things that are certain and true that we believe in and build our lives upon. I think that's the genius of liturgical worship and the liturgical life, the calendar and all of that. How could you ever, my wife and I laughed because when we had first had our faith renewed on a college campus a long time ago, we began to read the Bible, which we'd never done. We were raised in a Catholic church and really never read the Bible much, weren't familiar with it. And so we started reading the Bible voraciously. Why didn't anybody ever tell me this? That kind of an attitude. So we're always carrying these Bibles around too. And I was thinking her brother, it's really kind of a character, said, aren't you done with that book yet? When is it? Haven't you gotten to the last chapter yet? And well, obviously no. this is not like that. This book, every day of your life, every season of your life, will bring you back to those certain things and help you understand the things that are affecting your life in light of that certainty, in light of your relationship with Jesus Christ, His kingdom, and the gospel. So I think as Anglicans understand their liturgy, their practice, it really is a way of life. It's a way of being a Christian. It's not just a matter of having a Bible study here or a prayer group here. It's the understanding it's an all-encompassing way of life that we've inherited, that we continue to treasure, and that we continue to build our lives upon. Helps us to find certainty amidst the uncertainty of life. Actually, probably life has always been uncertain. Maybe in each generation faces its thing. It just seems so uncertain. A lot of uncertainty. Talking to a lot of the young folks, it was one of the things they said to us, is that what they appreciated was I don't know if they use the actual word certainty, but that there was something to build your life upon, something that there was people that actually believed it was truth. And so anyway, I think as Anglicans, the REC, especially, we have a high regard for the Scripture. We are liturgical. I think we've grown as a liturgical church. I think the bishops have grown as liturgical leaders and continue to value our prayer book, our calendar, and that historical connection we have to the ancient church. And I think that's going to serve us very well going forward. Regarding our diocese, we're hosting the General Council, but also we're in a transition season for us, as you know. In July, I will go part-time for the rest of the year, then retire in December. And Bishop Jason Grote, our now Bishop Coadjutor, will take over as Bishop Ordinary. Has he ever been here? Yeah. And you know, his pedigree, his father was actually instrumental in my coming into the Reformed Episcopal Church. So it's quite interesting that now, or ironic, or whatever the word you want to use, that now he's my successor as the ordinary of this diocese. Just a wonderful man, godly man, loves Jesus. He and his wife very devoted to the task, and I know he'll do a great job. He's probably 52 years old, so he's got some years ahead of him, Lord willing, and hopefully, and I think he'll do a lot of good things. And I think our diocese is poised to do some really good things. If you didn't know it, Bishop Grote is planning to move to Ohio, which is where I'm from, Cincinnati. They're gonna build a house in Xenia, Ohio. Don't tell them, but what Xenia was famous for is the entire town was destroyed by a tornado about 50 years ago. Right down the main street. And the good thing is it's all new buildings down here, only 50 years or less. But the bad news is there was one of these quarter-mile wide tornado. In fact, I was in school, I think, in college in Ohio at the time when it happened. So it was obviously really big news that this massive tornado went through right downtown and tore the place up. But what is connected to Xenia, Ohio, is Cedarville University, and his son is going to attend Cedarville, which was one of the reasons that it all worked together. I think the price of housing also is a lot more reasonable in a place like Xenia. But his son attending Cedarville was also a significant part of it. So he'll be up in Ohio. We have 1, 2, 3, about 5 churches, if you get a little down into Kentucky and all, in that area. So it'll be an opportunity for us to work together and, strategize and think what's next. Bishop Jason and I have a good relationship. He's invited me to do whatever I'd like to do. And so we'll see, We'll see what that's going to be like. Regarding Cedarville, forgive me for those who have heard this, but Cedarville, the situation there reminds me of what's happened here at the Patrick Henry. Cedarville is a bigger university. It's, I think, about 10,000 students in Cedarville, right outside of Xenia. A Baptist school, very conservative and traditional Baptist school, but a good school. The reputation has only grown. If you ever watch The National Desk, did you ever see that show? It's a news show, The National Desk. they regularly have professors from Cedarville on there, talking about some how they get experts in to talk about some economic things. Well, they often have a guy from Cedarville on there. And so, and the interesting thing about Cedarville is they made a real connection with our church in Dayton, Ohio, Christ the King. So quite a few college-age students go from Cedarville and attend the church in downtown Dayton at Christ the King. So very similar to what goes on here with Patrick Henry. So I think that Jason will be a wonderful addition and be able to take the church to our diocese and the church to a new things. Just build upon what's been entrusted to him. Let's see. So he'll be instituted at the first service, instituted at the first service at General Council. That's on Wednesday morning. And he's planning to move to Ohio in July. So he'll basically take over in July. And I'll stay on through the rest of the year and then see where we go from there. Let's see. I think that's it. Regarding the ACNA, always a lot of questions about the ACNA. We, the bishops, still value our relationship with that body. We've made a lot of fine and important relationships with godly Christians, godly men and movements in there. We feel like it's still valuable to us. We are a sub-jurisdiction, which, as I always say, is our firewall, because they don't ordain, we don't ordain women. It's a settled thing for us. We're not discussing it, anything like that. It is a settled issue for us. It's a first-order issue for us, and which is not it's not shared by everyone in the ACNA. So that makes for a challenging relationship. But so far, we've made it work, and we want to continue to do that and just see where it goes. So you could ask me any additional questions. You may have heard, there was a lot of press last year. The Washington Post, I think, did a number of articles about the accusations against Bishop Steve Wood. I thought it was really unfair the way it was handled. The people went to the press before they went to anybody else. But it never has a happy ending when you do that. But nonetheless, the accusations were looked upon, and so they have decided that there'll be a trial. So the trial is most likely happening the end of July, I think. So that's about all there is to say about that. There's not much more until see what the outcome of the trial is. Then the other issue is the whole jurisdiction of the armed forces. That split, and that was kind of ugly, honestly. It was difficult for the REC. You might not know this, but the REC was the first one that had the power to give credentials. What's the word? Endorsement. For a chaplain to function in the United States Army, you have to have an endorsement for some recognized Christian body. And the REC was, if not the first in the U.S., I think it was the first one to have that endorsing power. And so we've kept that up until just actually this last year, maybe the year before, when the Army said, well, we don't want to have two endorsing bodies inside of one organization. So the REC was inside of the ACNA, and the jurisdiction of the armed forces was also inside the ACNA. And so the bishop from the ACNA came to us and said, hey, this is the situation. Can you give us or join your endorsing power with us? So we did that. And it was not, well, anyway, we did it. So I say that because there seemed to be, in our minds, something that was not quite on the up and up in terms of what we were giving away and what was happening at that time. But nonetheless, when the whole firestorm erupted over other things, the ACNA continues to have an endorsing power. They've elected a new bishop, and Bishop Jones, the outgoing bishop, the current bishop of the Jurisdictional Armed Forces, has left, started another body, And that is, that whole thing might come to trial. Last I heard, they were still trying to talk to each other and see if they could have some kind of a happy, if that's the right word, parting from each other. So that, it's a messy part of churches trying to do their business. I guess by way of encouragement, as I, having talked to the young folks and talked to the vestry and had dinner with the Kells and the Parkers the other night, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep building upon what's happening here. It's really good. Steward it, be careful, be humble, pray for your leaders, don't argue. Once again, continue to pray, continue to find your place at this altar, asking God's help and guidance and seeing what's going to happen. I think there are many good things that could come out of this body in terms of not just your church, but for our whole diocese. I think what's happening in here is really an encouragement to our entire diocese. And I think that we can continue to benefit, we the diocese can continue to benefit by it. In fact, we were talking to Andy Cunningham yesterday. I had lunch with Andy and Sean the other day, and this is really good. You got these two guys who could go and do something else when they are done working, and they want to serve the church. That's absolutely wonderful. So that speaks good of what's just happening here in general. And talking about building a church and close to D.C. and Sean, whatever he's going to do, or when we get him going. But there's actually really some good things happening here. So I just continue to encourage you to keep it up. However, any questions? Direct my conversations to something that might be helpful to you. Well, we elected a missionary bishop, John Bonzar, who'll be here in a couple of weeks, right, Father? Yeah. John Bonzar, who's doing a great job. John is a tireless worker. He's got this Dutch ethic. His parents are from Holland, and I don't think he was born here, but they're really something else. He's the kind of guy that, you strap him in, and he just keeps running to get the thing done. And so he's made some real strides in Cuba. Cuba, as you know, is terrible. I think I say that every year, but they're always terrible. Their economics are awful. People aren't getting food and all that. And so John was just there not that long ago. And so there's a good body, 40 house churches and churches in Cuba. And that's active. That's very much one of our things going on in Cuba. And John's got the thing in Serbia, or outside of Serbia, Croatia, and Germany. They have a new couple that have taken over the camp there in Germany. Bishop Gerhard is retiring. He and his wife have ran it for, 30 years or more than that. So John, I think, has done a really good job with missions, and you could ask him. Maybe to have a little session to have him talk about.
Bishop John Bonzar is going to be with us May the 31st. And he's going to give us, in addition to preaching, he's also going to give us an update during Sunday school hour. Something else of real significant interest is that we have our first church plant in Venezuela that just began. So the gospel is moving forward, and the Little Reformed Episcopal Church is, as usual, punching above her weight. So.
And actually, that's true. In Colombia also. My daughter-in-law is actually from Colombia, so I have an interest in it. But there was a whole little body of churches. They were Anglicans, oddly enough. I can't remember where they were connected, but they contacted John, and now they are they're in the process of connecting with the Reformed Episcopal Church. But it's out of Colombia. I don't know how many churches there are, but there's a number of them, a good number of churches in Colombia. So that's kind of neat, too. Yes? Well, there isn't actually an archbishop. Julian Dobbs is functioning as whatever title they've given him. I can't remember.
Dean of the Province.
Dean of the Province, yeah. So Wood is not able to function. But so Julian Dobbs is taken over and done a great job, actually. I think, yeah, he's done a good job. A lot of communication, and it's you know, those are difficult times. Everybody's asking a ton of questions, but I think he's done a wonderful job. Yeah, he was with Cana. They came out, and of course, that, you know, Cana's no more. They dissolved that into the ACNA.
Diocese of the Living Word.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Yeah, they don't call it, I mean, there was a group of, I don't know how it all divided out, but yeah, he was a part of Cana. Yeah.
Carl?
Yes. Sutton was, and for different reasons, he felt like he needed to get out of it. His health had, he had, you know, Bishop Sutton has suffered with these back problems off and on, and he was concerned that, I don't think he ever thought it was going to get as messy as it was getting. And so I think as he looked at the demands of what was ahead with these trials and everything else, he said, I probably need to not get involved in that and put my energies into because he is the head of our, to get my titles.
Presiding bishop.
Presiding bishop, yeah, the
Ordinary
PB, the presiding bishop of the Reformed Episcopal Church.
But the article I saw was that other ministers wrote a letter saying he was unfit because he wasn't allowing bishops to reprimand the ministers in our, and Cana ministers saw that.
Yeah, I mean, it was, once again, it was unfair to do that in the press. I'm not even sure. It was one or two guys that accused him of that. And I think he probably said, maybe it's best for me not to just try to defend myself in this and get messy with it, but just to step aside. That certainly isn't the opinion of the majority of folks for him. So.
Well, I think it does have a ripple effect, and it has effect on.
Yeah. Well, once again, you hate to have the press be the source of information. I mean, he doesn't have much of a chance to defend himself, whatever those accusations were. So I've known Bishop Sutton for a long time, and the things that were said did not at all resonate with me about how the Bishop Sutton I knew. So I didn't feel that way about him. Yeah, so, yeah. I haven't heard much more of that. It seemed like to me it had died down. I don't know. If anything can ever die down in our day and age, you know, the media keeps it alive.
Maybe you can tell us as well about what's going on in Johnson City.
Yeah, I'm going to Johnson City in actually 3 weeks, and they are probably just 2 years old. And I think they're meeting with about 40,
Johnson
30,
City,
30,
Tennessee.
40, yeah, Johnson City, Tennessee, 30 or 40 people.
It's a church plant.
Yeah. Church plant from scratch. They got, and you're going to get me again. What's his name?
Oh, I don't know. I should
Janice.
know.
What's her name?
This is
in
why I'm
Johnson
asking you,
City?
Bishop.
What is it? What is it? Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
Alex
that's right.
Marlowe. There you go. My wife is my brain. Alex Marlowe, who's really a fine man. Like I said, we're going there in about 3 weeks, and I'm doing confirmations. Very encouraging. There was nothing there, and they went down there, advertised, talked, and they've gathered a group of people. There was a group there for years. Yeah, that's actually the backstory. There was a group of people there for years who had come from an REC church in California. I can't remember the whole story why they got to Johnson City, but they did. The couple did. And another couple, almost quote unquote coincidentally, found themselves in Johnson City as well. And so they found each other and they said, well, we're here, we'd like to try to get a church going. They contacted us. I went down there a number of times, and they were really close to saying, we probably should give up on this thing because we couldn't get a priest. And then Alex came on the radar somehow, and that's turned everything around. So now they're actually have an active church plant there in Johnson City. Decent sized city too. I didn't know that. It's kind of like a tri-city. I don't know what they are, but a couple of universities down there, and growing area, Johnson City. Yes.
Nothing to do with this diocese, but a long time ago, Dad, when I first reported, we thought of moving to Alpine, Texas.
Oh, man.
There's an RC
There is.
where we went
Yeah.
to visit the nurse. I don't know who's there anymore.
Wyatt,
Yeah, Wyatt Boutwell.
Boutwell, who,
Why is there now?
yeah, Wyatt Boutwell, who came from our sister parish, Holy Trinity, which is
Yeah.
where I was also raised up for the ministry. He's now in Alpine, Texas. Yeah, yeah.
Well, and the one that was probably there when you, Damien Grout was there before Wyatt. And Damien is now in Lexington, Virginia.
Yeah.
And where Father Eric was, yeah. Yeah, Wyatt, Alpine, I have no idea how it got there. I guess it's a nice resort town, but there's nothing, it's remote. Yeah.
Oil
Yeah.
money, lots of oil money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Reagan.
Yes. Well, a little bit. I'm not totally up on it, but you know the whole locus of Anglicanism is changing, and the details are still being worked out. But praise God, the Africans are taking over. We need them. We need them to. You know, they're the only ones that have any sense to them these days in terms of the Anglican world. But they've really held their ground, and so I can't say a lot more about it than that. Not that I'm hiding anything, I just don't know. But all I know is that everybody's happy with the way. I didn't go to Abuja. A number of guys did, and everyone was happy with how the meetings went. Certainly shocking to the Episcopal world, the Anglican world, Canterbury and all that. On the one hand, I think they realized it was going to come, but then for the rank and file and a lot of the priests, when it actually happened, they're really upset that how could they do this? But of course, they felt, how could you do what you've done for 50 plus years? So, but the center of Anglicanism, traditional Anglicanism, anyways, is changing geographically and certainly in terms of what it means to be an Anglican.
Well, and
Anything?
if you're not aware, this was all provoked by the fact that the Church of England set up a woman bishop as the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Yeah.
And that this really has created a rift, cemented the rift that has already been present in the Anglican community. So.
I always like to think of God shaking what can be shaken so that what can't be shaken remains. And that's what I look at these things as. The things that can't be shaken go collapse and go their way. But that which can't be shaken remains. And I do think we're on the right side of this thing because we're adhering to the scriptures and the faith once delivered to the saints, you know. So I take heart in that, in spite of the fact that it is difficult and troubling and all of that to see it, the tumult it caused. One of our jobs is to, especially in this day, ours, the bishops, in this day and age, there's so much information out there that you can't control it. And I think that even to try to push information back is almost fruitless because it never stops. So I think these are the kind of situations where people look people in the eye and talk to them and say, this is what we know, this is what we've seen, and it's all right. We're working on these things. I think it's really the better way at the lowest level to handle these things. Apart from all that information out there, it just gets very, very noisy and hard to get your handle on what's true and what's not true. So, yes.
The church here grown so much, and it's great to see it full most Sundays. But I wonder what the membership in the diocese has what is that now?
Well, I mean, the good news for us is when I came in right after COVID, actually I came in at COVID 2020, and of course we took a big hit. I think our total Sunday attendance, ASA average Sunday attendance for the diocese was like less than 600, 500 and something. And one of the things I said is we've got to get it over 1,000 before I retire. Well, good news, at the end of the year, we got over 1,000 in attendance on Sunday. So it's 1,000 and, I don't know, 1,100 or something like that. But we broke 1,000. And actually this year, I'm sure 2026 will be even better. So 22 parishes and missions and about 1,000 in attendance on Sunday. I think about 40 clergy. I think that's a number. I do forget those things. But honestly, most of our churches are growing. They're adding people, not at the rate you guys are growing, but they are adding folks. We are having continued interest in our churches and what we're doing. And once again, I go and see them all the time. So I think we need to keep plowing and doing what God's called us to do. Yes?
In your observations of the churches growing, what do you think is the key thing in helping the church grow?
You know, I think it's, first of all, I think there is an interest in traditional Christianity, Anglicanism, liturgy, things like that. I think that people that maybe have come from the evangelical world wanted more, in their faith. I think that's a big deal. In terms of the young folks, like we said, I think certainty in an age of uncertainty, I think that's what we offer. I think that this offers a safe place for people to grow and understand who they are. If you come into a church of young folk and they don't know what the heck's going on, how are you going to help them, But I think that we have a certainty about life in Christ and our relationship with Him in the future, a positive view of the future. So I think just being good prayer book Anglicans is attractive. And once again, we're not growing like some of the mega churches, certainly. But that's driven a lot by just a lot of advertising, a lot of that kind of energy and that kind of stuff. And I don't make it a point to badmouth that stuff. I mean, those guys, they're doing what they're doing. And I think they actually prepare people to come to us eventually. So, yeah. So.
Other questions for our bishop? Well, Bishop, we're very grateful for your presence. We pray for you every day, and I want to encourage all of you to make that a point of your own emphasis. If you're following the daily offices, as we expect you would, you'll be about that, and if you're not, this is an opportunity for me to encourage you to double down. Just a couple of a brief kind of upkeep. Here in about 5 minutes, I'm going to ask all of those of you who are going to be confirmed and those of you who are going to be received to come forward. And we're going to do a walkthrough. Also, if you're a young man and are going to be here for this second service, I'm going to volunteer you right now. After the service, I would ask that all of you young men would go behind the church where Caleb Simmons is going to direct and lead you. We're going to leave all the tables and chairs folded up and where they are in the basement and in the cottage and this and that for right now, because we think it's going to be raining through most of the service, but by the end of the service, by God's grace, the rain will stop, so we'll just have wet feet and nothing else. But we'll need to get all the tables and all the chairs up and the tents up in rather quick and orderly fashion. And so Caleb is going to be directing all of you to that work. So you're all volunteered, and then after that you can chat with one another. Finally, I want to encourage all of you to at your leisure after service come and greet the bishop and especially his beloved bride. Miss Janice is a gift of grace, a true mother to all of us. And so make sure you get to know them a little bit, but also understand that they need to visit with a lot of people. If you want a longer kind of exposure, we can talk about how to put you in contact. So anyway, thank you all, and we're going to go ahead and retire and ask those of you who are serving at the altar to come and join us rather briefly here in the chancel. And those of you to be confirmed or received, make sure you get a bulletin in about 5 minutes. We will call you together so we can do a walkthrough. All right? Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you. Good to be with everyone.